Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire, Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. Thank you for joining me again today, and I appreciate everyone that joins us during the premieres. Don't forget you can ask questions and I'll answer as many as I can throughout the chat as well. And please don't forget you can join Scarcity as well as a way to support the channel and get extra discount and content. As the regular viewers of the channel will know, the PC Harper story, I covered this on July the 4th as information from the trial emerged about the seriousness of the crime as well. The boys had admitted manslaughter, and that is exactly what they've been convicted of. There's been a mixed reaction outside of court from people that believe they should have been done for murder and others that believe they didn't intentionally kill the police officer. So go and watch our other video as well if you'd like a little bit more footage from that story. And it has emerged today that video of them leaving court laughing has been circulated online. The chairman of the Police Federation said that the jury's decision to clear 3 travellers who killed PC Harper of murder is 2 fingers up to the criminal justice system. John Apter's comments came as the family friend of the officer claimed the teenagers knew exactly what they was doing, adding they were just preoccupied with their escape at all costs. Henry Long, Albert Bowers and Jesse Cole hugged each other yesterday. They were cleared of murder of the police officer by dragging him to his death behind their car. They was convicted of manslaughter. The verdict left PC Harper's widow Lissy immensely disappointed and sparked fury from his friends and colleagues. The 28-year-old officer had tried to stop the thieves stealing a quad bike, and his ankles were lassoed in a trailing loading strap as the teenagers tried to escape in Berkshire in August last year. For over a mile, he was dragged helplessly behind a Seat Toledo by his feet as the car reached speeds of up to 60 miles an hour, with driver Long, who is 19 years old, swerving violently to try and release the stricken police officer.
Not when you're convicted.
Long and his friends Bowers and Cole, both 18, were accused of murder but convicted of manslaughter, and they joyfully embraced each other via videolink from HMP Belmarsh in London. The chairman of the Police Federation said, "What we see too often is offenders who assault police officers or emergency workers get let off with nothing more than a slap on the wrist. There should be a deterrent against violence towards police officers. I support the increase, but the increase in sentencing is worthless if it doesn't go hand in hand with a complete review and overhaul of the sentencing guidelines. At the moment, it's almost the exception that people go to prison. That should be turned around. The exception should be that they don't go to prison." His comments came as Andy Ledbury, a family friend who employed PC Harper when he was a teenager, told the BBC Radio 4 programme, "To say I'm shocked and disappointed would be an understatement. For me, it was never a question of whether it would be murder or manslaughter. It was a question of how many of them would be prosecuted for murder. The more evidence you hear, the more it's clear they knew exactly what they were doing, and they were just preoccupied with their escape at all costs." Despite the verdict, he made clear his view that this was murder and would not in any way take away the pain of what has happened. "As it stands at this moment in time, I don't see any justice." Meanwhile, it can be reported that the jury were given special protection by the police because detectives believed associates of defendants were planning to intimidate them. PC Harper had married just 4 weeks before he was flayed alive by the surface of Admore Lane. Just hearing that word, flayed, it sounds like a medieval term. I'm assuming that's in reference to being dragged across the floor. Parts of his body, including his face, were destroyed, and details emerged during the trial. They were so terrible his family had to leave the room during some of it. A trail of blood was behind him and followed the course of his body down the lane. His widow was joined in court by his parents, Phil Harper and Debbie Allen, and his brother Sean. Long admitted manslaughter but was acquitted of murder. Bowers and Cole were convicted of manslaughter after a jury deliberated for 12 hours and 22 minutes. Jurors were visibly shocked by the details of the case. All the police officers involved in the discovery of the body were also advised to seek help after the trauma of the case. What also emerged during the trial is a juror was dismissed because she actually said goodbye to the boys during the trial. They thought this may have compromised the trial. And with the graphic evidence that was shown during the trial, it must surprise some people to hear that. They was arrested at Four Houses Corner traveller site in Ufton-Nervit in Berkshire. Long claimed he'd been watching a Fast and Furious DVD at the time of the killing. He complained police were unfairly targeting travellers and said, "I don't give an F about any of this," when he was charged. Long, Bowers and Cole spent most of their time chasing rabbits and hares with their lurcher dogs and scratched a living by burglary and theft. They said they spotted the Honda TRX 500 quad bike at the home of Peter Wallace near Cock Lane in the village of Bradfield, Southend. Earlier in the day on August the 15th last year, they returned at 11 p.m. to steal it. All of them were wearing balaclavas and gloves and had taped over the car's number plate and disabled the rear lights. The killers were armed with an axe, crowbars and a length of pipe to use against anyone who tried to stop them. Mr. Wallace called the police when he saw them taking the bike and hitching the handlebars to the back of the car with the sling that would later drag PC Harper down the road. The officers were on duty that night in Reading and they were heading back to the station in Abingdon when they heard of an incident on the radio and responded to the call. It was a decision that would cost PC Harper his life. When they drove to Admore Lane, they came face to face with the Seat. The travellers quickly realised it was a police car and Cole unhitched the bike and tried to get into the Seat as he ran off from the police. PC Harper jumped out of the car and tried to grab Cole and narrowly missed him. As the car sped away, PC Harper stepped into the tow rope and was then dragged in a noose-like fashion down the street. PC Shaw, his partner, had no idea what had happened and he expected to find him further on up the road, but as he reversed down the road he found PC Harper's bloodied and shredded vest lying in the road. The court was told that Long must have known he was dragging the police officer, even with the music blaring and his friends screaming at him. He tried to free PC Harper by zigzagging along the road. By the time the officer came off the car, he was on Ufton Road and his body was a bloodied mess. A police officer who saw the incident thought PC Harper's body was a deer carcass. The Seat sped away to the traveller site, causing other road users to drive into the verge to avoid a collision. It was tracked by a police helicopter and the travellers were arrested at the site.
Tango Romeo 92, I need to speak to that Delta 50 just to get the exact location where he lost them.
It's Delta 50, you're after me.
Where did you last lose it or see it?
Yeah, it was Camp Road towards the Burfield Road, mate.
Did it turn into Camp Road from the main Reading Road, turn into Camp Road towards Sully, then off that way?
Control RV68.
RV68, go ahead.
Good evening, you've got 3 ARVs for a green capacity coming up through Tadley. Is there anyone particularly you'd like us?
Yeah, the last vehicle sighting was a couple of villages beyond Hadley, around the Apter Nervit, Berkshire Common section.
And plus 16.
16, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Seat's on the site at Four Houses. I've got a Seat, I think, very, very hot. A number of males around it this time.
That's all units, area section end, making their way to Four Corners site.
Oscar 2, please be mindful here that these people have already seriously injured one of our officers. I suggest we get people there as quick as possible, but RV just outside until it's an appropriate point to go in. Bearing in mind we have eyes on Empire. What downlink channel are you on, please?
Yeah, I think it's channel 2. Vehicles in one of the plots appears abandoned. 3 lads, or 5 lads now, in the adjacent plot.
Long, Bowers and Cole all admitted conspiracy to steal a quad bike, and Long admitted manslaughter. They insisted they had no idea that PC Harper was trapped behind the car. During the trial, Bowers, Long and Cole smirked and laughed as details of PC Harper's death was read to the jury. It can now be reported that Long had previously threatened to ram a police car as he spoke to a community support officer. This was ruled inadmissible in court, and Long said, "You can't touch me now because I've passed my driving test, and if police try to stop me, I will ram them." Long and Bowers, both of Mortimer, Reading, and Bowell from Hampshire, each denied murder and were acquitted. They will be sentenced next Friday. I'm definitely surprised by the amount of information that has come out today, and like I said, this story is messed up. Nobody deserves to be dragged down the street in such a horrendous way, but these young men are very lucky to have got such a lenient sentence. They could still get quite a few years if they do get the worst manslaughter charges, but at the same time it will be a lot less than losing your life, and that's what PC Harper has lost and his wife has to deal with. So I really appreciate you joining me today. Please pay respects in the comments. I'll be back again very soon with some more news. Peace.
I'm gonna So, I'm going to need some names first.
Right, that's Henry Long.
Yeah, Mike Henry Long.
Hey?
I'm Henry Long, yeah.
Yeah.
Henry, can I grab your date of birth?
28 for the 4th.
4th, yeah.
28 for the 4th.
Yeah.
2001.
2001.
Yeah.
And I'll get your details, and I'm going to tell you both what's going on simultaneously. Do you live here at Four Houses, do you?
No, I live in Newbury.
Alright.
But my car's got a punch off.
That's alright. That's right. Just know you're on body one video as well.
Yeah,
what?
And obviously I couldn't get back over.
Alright, what's your address, Henry?
My address is Craven Road.
Craven Road. What number Craven Road?
Number 9, Newbury.
Craven Road.
Newbury.
Alright.
Yeah.
Don't twist it because it hurts you.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get me in a good spot.
Yeah, that's a good spot there.
Right, young man, I don't know you, but I do know Henry.
Yeah.
What's your first name?
Albert.
Albert?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess your last name, but you're going to tell me it's not Bowers, is it?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I haven't done nothing wrong, so I'm not.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
Albert Bowers, we've met before. I don't know your date of birth though, Albert.
30th of March.
Yeah.
2002.
2002. Where are you living now, Albert?
Mortimer.
Whereabouts in Mortimer, though?
Windmill Corner, innit?
Yeah, what number Windmill Corner, though?
I don't know what number, buddy. I've not been in there for long.
That's alright. Right, so I'm Police Constable 2388 Simon Denton.
Yeah.
I'm actually from Tadley Police Station.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's Hampshire. Okay, and the time right now is 00, so that's midnight 57.
Yeah.
And it's the 16th at the minute
Yeah.
of August 2019. I'm arresting both of you on suspicion of murder. Alright, and that's of a Thames Valley police officer, so it's suspicion of murder of a Thames Valley police officer. Alright, and that's happened, I believe, down on the A4 tonight. Alright, that would have been sort of past just before midnight probably, or around midnight. Alright, so both of you, you don't say anything, but it may harm your offence. Do not mention when questioned, which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence, do you understand? Now I know you don't know this, but murder's a common law, so I don't need to give you necessity, but I will give you one anyway. Prompt and effective, and to stop both of you, your disappearance, do you understand?
Yeah.
Alright.
Huh?
Oh.
All this for a load of what?
Right?
All this for a load of what?
Well, a load of what? It's suspicion of murder. It's quite a serious offence, to be honest.
It's serious to you.
Alright.
Look, how do you expect me to know about Newbury like that? What have we done?
Well, we're going to work that out. That's why it's prompt and effective investigation and to work everything out.
Does it look like I've done a murder?
God, look as if
No, because it's upsetting. It's upsetting. They just calling me a murderer.
Alright, so you two both understand? So transportation's going to be gained for you, and then you're going to leave, alright?
With peace. I don't want to go.
Thank you very much.